Earlier this year I set up another travel buddy, Rohi the Kia, and again I used my own network of friends as a teacher, my Twitter network, and said who wants to be involved in a travel buddy exchange. And Rohi got to go all up and down New Zealand. So we set up a travel blog for Rohi, and my children began by researching Kias and creating little booklets. So we did a mixture of digital and hard copy. They wrote booklets about Kias and researched information about Kias, which was valuable learning for them. And then they also created booklets that we posted off with Rohi to the next class. And then Rohi arrived down at a school in Hamilton, and the children down there then posted to the blog, and so my children were able to read what Rohi was up to, and because it's a blog we were able to add comments and ask questions. So again, you can see it's a really good tool for developing literacy, but also for giving them a better worldview of what it's like for other children. And it doesn't have to be an international thing, because my children discovered all these similarities and differences between them in Auckland on the North Shore and these other children throughout New Zealand. This particular school they went to, they had a swimming pool, and my children could see this in the photo, and they're like, why do they have a swimming pool and we don't? How's that fair? So we had a huge discussion about why their older school had a swimming pool and our new school didn't, but they were really interested to see how different it was, and Rohi got to ride in a stock car and things like that, so she did some very exciting things. And then from there she went down to Raumati Beach, and the children down there also posted to the blog, and they all took her home and loved her and wrote about her, and that was really neat for them. And there was a lot of literacy that took place in their classroom as well. And then she went down to Dunedin where we had much older children, and that was really neat because there were Year 6 children down there, and they created online storybooks about Rohi and Rohi's adventures. And that was a really neat experience for them because they knew that Rohi actually came from a class of younger children, and so they had to think very carefully about how they were going to write these books. So they wrote these lovely, lovely books that we ended up embedding in the blog so that all the children could read it. But we also had a hard copy sent back with Rohi the Kia, which my children got to keep. So again, it's reading for us, but writing skills for them, and also just again that thinking about an audience. And then from there she went to a little school in Taupo and got to stay with 4 different classes there, to be with little children and big children. And for them, each of those classes that had her posted to Rohi's blog, but they also posted about Rohi on their own class blogs as well, so they were able to write about Rohi to their parents and friends and family, and they were able to come and comment on Rohi's adventures in my class, and I were able to do that as well. Then finally she came back to the Waikato and tripped around all the rural schools in the Waikato with an ICT facilitator that I knew. My children again got to see that there are schools with only 1 or 2 teachers, or there are 3 classes in 1 room. How does that work? One of the really good things about having a blog was that even though Rohi was staying with a different school each time, every other school that was involved in the project could still follow all of Rohi's adventures and contribute and ask questions and read about what she was up to.